I got into was the Guillermo del Toro and Jon Favreau panel. They talked about some of their upcoming projects, and for Jon Favreau, he's currently working on Magic Kingdom, which I'm excited about. And Michael Chabon wrote the script, the screenplay, so that should be pretty good. It's pretty much Night at the Museum, but at Disneyland. So it could be fun. Guillermo del Toro, he talks about his upcoming projects, such as Pacific Rim. He did not give much description about Pacific Rim. His description was basically giant effing robots versus giant effing monsters. He swears a lot more in person.
As much as they possibly can, knowing that it will enrich the experience. Unfortunately, Guillermo is one of the directors that goes out of his way to let you behind the curtain, and he's of the mindset that the more you know, the more you'll enjoy. Always knowing there's going to be another mystery to bring up, so he's not afraid of revealing his secrets. When I was preparing to do Zathura, when I was confronted with that subject matter, I watched The Devil's Backbone over and over again and even screened it. Isn't it a great movie, The Devil's Backbone? It's my favorite. I screened it for my crew, and eventually even hired Guillermo Navarro, his cinematographer and compadre, to film it, and we watched it together. And through Guillermo Navarro, I heard many stories about this Guillermo, and eventually we ended up hanging out together. I think it was at Frank Darabont's house.
Yeah,
first met.
Great dinner.
Yeah,
Fantastic dinner. They were meatballs and spaghetti.
We don't remember who was there, but we remember what the food.
No, it was Bernie Wrightson.
Yes.
Drew Struzan. You, Frank. I mean, the thing is, I love friendship. I really do. I'm addicted to friendship. I'm in this business, yes, to make movies and all that, but also to hang out with people that I fucking adore. You know, because there's nothing better than eating a bad pizza with Ron Perlman, or eating whatever spaghetti and meatballs with you and Frank and Bernie, and hearing them talk about those things. I think that we have a craft that can be very jealous. You know, often directors don't hang together. A, because most of us are assholes, number one, but B, because we're jealous assholes. I happen to, the one thing, I don't know how many years I'll direct or be able to produce blah, but I know one thing. The one thing I can finance is I'll be a fan my whole fucking life. You know, and I think as a fan, you wanna partake, and you do it. You did it professionally for many years with Dinner for Five.
Yes.
Which I watched every fucking episode, including the ones where the guest I didn't give a fuck about, just because the repartee was fantastic. And I think that's how we started just talking, and we have many things in common. You know, we are, and you commissioned a poster from Drew right after.
Right, for Zathura,
yeah.
Which Sony didn't use, and then I commissioned a poster from Drew for Cowboys and Aliens, which Universal didn't use, and but we got a made-up special, by the way, just for Comic-Con for the premiere, and I'm going to be doing a signing, I think tomorrow, with Drew Struzan on the floor, and we'll be giving out a bunch of those posters that Drew created for the premiere. And by the way, and we'll be giving away some premiere tickets there as well. So line up and meet Drew, and we'll hope to see many of you at the premiere on Saturday.
Guillermo, I'd be curious to know, just like, what have you appreciated about sort of like John's approach to like genre films, especially like Iron Man? Like, what have you enjoyed about
it?
Well,
everything. I mean, I've been a fan before. When Navarro was going to work with him, I said he's a great director, and ask him this and ask him that. Everything is. I mean, what is great is we both come from a sort of filmically blue-collar background. He as an actor, and me as a special effects, makeup effects, optical effects, animation background, which was what I did for a living for more than 10 years, you know? And what you do is, they say, if you want to ever command, learn to obey. You know, like, be a troop before you're a general. So that you don't have the arrogance of thinking these people are minions at your disposal. You suffer the long hours, you go through the short lunches, waking up at 4 a.m., etc. And so we come from that sort of nuts and bolts, blue-collar working background in the films. And I admired him as an actor, and, you know, Singles was eminently rewatchable.
Swingers.
Swingers. It is my second language. No, but Singles was great too. You gotta admit that. It's the same that, yeah. The devil's, whatever. No, but what is great about this is that then I started seeing, for in Elf, when he uses stop motion animation, hardcore fucking Kyoto Brothers stop motion animation in the style of Rankin Bass. I go, this motherfucker is intelligent. This motherfucker is smart. But it's also because people forget the charm that comes from those resources. CGI gets a bad rap. I think it's a fantastic tool. But it gets a bad rap because a lot of people use it as a lazy tool. The lazy tool of filmmaking. And what I love about John is that he uses old-fashioned techniques, puppetry, big models, little miniatures, stop motion, whatever is needed to tell the story. So I admire that. I admire the Pauls, great with actors, eminently fluid storytelling, you know, and a fantastic guy to hang out with.
We're both, Guillermo and I both are, what the projects that we're developing, it just so happens, again, our careers seem to follow
Strange paths.
Strange but similar paths, right? I'm developing Magic Kingdom at Disney, and Guillermo's developing Haunted House.
Haunted Mansion. Disney? Haunted Mexican
He's doing Haunted Mansion House, and
by the way,
you're learning to edit yourself, so you're really maturing a lot in your 40s. But we're both, you know, looking at that whole resource of intellectual property. And fortunately, because the people over at Disney are saying a lot of great things, like we really want to engage filmmakers like you and bring your vision to it. And we're both incredible fans of Walt Disney and his sensibility and all of the innovations that he brought about, both technically and in storytelling. And
people forget how, you know, he came to some of the radical animation in the 70s. He was viewed as the man. But this is a guy that was highly experimental, incredibly, the innovations he brought, the risks. Talk about